So, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona are going to be playing a La Liga game in the USA. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke. Barcelona will be playing a La Liga game in US soil, ladies and gentlemen, because the news has now been confirmed. The rumors are no longer rumors. It is now guaranteed. Javier Tebas has confirmed that Barcelona will be playing a La Liga game in December versus Villareal, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you guys. There it is, the confirmation right there. La Liga president Javier Tebas has announced Villarreal versus Barcelona match will take place in Miami on December 20th, 2025, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, there has obviously been a lot of ups and downs. A lot of people, they're looking at this as maybe like a great opportunity, right? A great opportunity for, league games to be played outside of countries and stuff like that. Some people, especially like if you're an American Barca fan like me, right? Some Americans are very, very happy, American content creators maybe have an opportunity to watch a La Liga game live at Barcelona. Even for someone like me, I don't know if I'm going to be in the game, but you never know. At the end of the day, I might just get a ticket to go watch the La Liga game between Villarreal and Barcelona at Miami. But for most people's opinions on this is that they hate this whole thing, right? They completely hate it. They think it's a complete betrayal of what, the sport is about, especially league competition, because league competitions are always supposed to be played home and away. They're always supposed to be played in the country. We obviously know that in every single league now, there's always games, cup tournaments that have been played overseas. For example, the Spanish Super Cup. It's played I think it's played in Qatar, or if I'm not mistaken, UAE. I'm not really. I'm kind of tweaking, but it's one of those. It's either Saudi, UAE, or Qatar. One of them, right? But that's where the games are being played. But that is the UEFA Super Cup, right? It's usually played in neutral grounds. No one really has the advantage of home and away, and it works, right? You even see like the Italian Super Cup. I think that's also played in that side of the world as well, right? So this is nothing, out of the ordinary, to be honest, right? This is something as football fans we've seen, but it is completely different now because this is not a cup game. This is a La Liga game, which means it has implications on the title race, right? So it is completely different now when really a title race is at risk, or points are at risk, right, in a league competition. And this is why a lot of people are against it. And look, I just wanted to give my perspective as an American Barcelona fan. Now, let me say this. I'm someone that I consider myself a student of the game, right? I've been a football fan ever since I was 8 years old, right? I am someone that always believes in the rules of the game, right? I don't like when people try to bend the rules and change things to basically fit the way they want the sport to go. And I get it. In sports, evolution always happens. But certain evolutions we don't want to see. And for me, right, as just a football fan, but also as a Barca fan, I am not a fan of this, right? I'm not a fan of this. Let me just put it out there. I don't like the fact we're playing league games outside of the country where those leagues are being played. It is not right. I'm sorry, it is not. Because I get it. Because here's the thing. For those of you guys who don't know, this was an agreement that was between all three parties. Barcelona were offered an opportunity to play a home game in Miami. We refused. We did not want to sacrifice one of our home games to play it outside of our stadium, whether it was the Montjuic, the Johan Cruyff Arena, or the Camp Nou. We refused. We wanted to make sure all our home games were played in Barcelona, right? Villarreal were offered the same opportunity. I'm sure they were offered bucket loads of money, and they said, you know what? Okay, no problem. What if one game? Cool, no problem. And it might sound like, one of those things where, all right, as a Barca fan, listen, if Villarreal don't want to play in their home stadium, cool. We don't have to deal with the home crowd, right? It's basically a neutral ground. But in the perspective of rivals, specifically Real Madrid, you would not be happy to hear of this. I mean, listen, I get it, right? As Barca fans, we don't care about Madrid's feelings, but I'm speaking as a guy who, if the shoe was on the other foot, and let's say it was Madrid who had to play an away game instead of playing it in the away stadium, they're playing it outside of that away game to a neutral ground. I would not be happy, because playing in the neutral ground has a higher chance of winning a game than playing in the other team's stadium, right? And another reason why I'm not a fan of this is because now that you've opened the door, now that you've finally opened the door to playing league games outside of the nations where these leagues are being played, you basically ruined it all. Because let me explain something to you. If this game between Villarreal and Barcelona ends up being successful, it ends up generating a lot of buzz, a lot of money, you can be rest assured this is going to happen every year. And it's not going to be mini games. What I'm talking about, if this year's Barcelona, next season, Real Madrid are going to get a game in the US, right? And don't get it twisted. Miami is the first destination. They're going to be choosing other destinations. And you know what? Don't even be surprised if it's more than 1, 2, 3, or 4 games in a league season. And do not be surprised if this expands to other leagues, to the Serie A, to the Premier League. I mean, Premier League most of the Premier League owners are all Americans. You think they're not going to look at this and say, maybe we should consider this. This is what the risk of having something like this is, right? You are ruining the integrity of the game, because league competitions should never be tampered with. And this is the thing, if I'm being biased, of course I'm not against this, because it gives my club a better opportunity to win that away game and potentially have a home game against Villarreal, which we could win. But if you're a Madrid fan, you're fuming, because let's say Barca wins the league this season by 3 points. If Barca wins the league by 3 points this season, guess what? Barca Real Madrid fans, and quite rightfully so, will sit there and say, yeah, they played a away game in a neutral ground and they won. So they basically, that one game in the neutral ground cost us the league title. And that is the thing. But let me first, and this is the final thing I'm going to say, guys. You can point the finger at, people are going to point the finger at Barca. This is not on us. We were offered an opportunity to play a game in the US. We refused. We refused to play a home game over there. So clearly we wanted to keep the integrity of the league in our stadium. But the problem is, La Liga kept on insisting, because they knew they were going to make a bucket load of cash. And let's be clear here, La Liga are not Saints, bro. They are the farthest away from Saints, okay? As Barca fans, as football fans, as La Liga fans, we know that this league is corrupt to its core. So we shouldn't really be surprised that this is happening at all. Tebas was going to make a lot of money from this whole situation. So guess what? They insisted. So they looked at it, because let's be clear here. They need this game they were going to play, this La Liga game they were going to play in the US, it had to be either Barca participating on it or Real Madrid. You couldn't choose any other club, because it was never going to generate the amount of audience it could potentially generate. So they had to make it either Barca or Madrid game. So they looked at it and said, well, let's talk to Villarreal. And Villarreal were more than happy, because I'm sure they were going to get given a lot of money out of this. So in the end, guess what? Barcelona, when they were told, listen, the game against Villarreal, it's not going to be played in the Submarine Stadium. No, it's going to be played in Miami. What? Barcelona was supposed to say no? Let me be clear here, guys. If you all think that Barcelona Football Club were going to say no to that, then clearly you guys don't realize how football works. There is no principles in football anymore. Forget about principles. Everybody wants to do the principle. There is no principles in football anymore. Okay? Do you think me as a Barca fan will expect Real Madrid to show principles when something goes in their favor? Absolutely not. It's all about the game. So Barcelona knew that they could potentially play a game where they had a higher chance of winning playing in a neutral ground than in the away game. Of course they were going to take it. You'd be a fool to not take that. So in the end, people can cry about it. It is what it is. This is not on Barca. Okay? We did not choose to play in Miami. We were told we were going to be playing in Miami. Barcelona did what any other club in our position did. And if you look at it, even players, some of the players, you've seen it recently, guys. Frankie de Jong, this morning, today, he was asked about this. He even said this: I don't like that we go play in Miami against Villarreal. I don't agree with this. It's not a fair competition. Now, we play games away from home in neutral grounds. I don't like it. And I don't think it's good for the players. This is my point. I 100% agree with this. I hate this idea. And I'm saying this now because I don't want people to say next season if Real Madrid play and then I start complaining, everyone is like, oh, but you didn't say it when Barcelona were playing. I'm saying this now. This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. And I hate it. I completely hate this idea. So, for me, I think this is a disgrace, to be honest. Just being unbiased, extremely disgraceful. They're not looking out for the fans, especially the Villarreal fans. The Villarreal fans, because let's be honest, Barcelona fans will still fill that stadium. If it's not Barcelona fans who live in Barcelona, it will be international Barcelona fans, right? But they will fill out that stadium. Villarreal fans is the opposite. That is supposed to be a home game. It's not good enough, and this is going to be a big problem. But it is what it is. Football is gone, guys, and football is going to continue to completely evolve in the wrong way. So it is what it is. But let me know what you guys are saying in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let me know what you guys are saying about this, guys. Thoughts on all of this, guys. Whether you're a Barca fan or a non-Barca fan, let me know, guys. Big up to you guys. Smash the like button. Peace. Take care.